in my eyes, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my life. I have been searching for something, but you were my dream. You're perfect, you're golden, golden. You're the light, your love. You're perfect, you're golden. You're the light, my love. When I breathe, when I swallow, caress I feel. When I listen, I hear the most beautiful music out of nowhere. You're perfect, you're golden. You're my light, my love. You're perfect, you're golden. You're my light, my love, my love. Light-it-light-it-light-it-light. Light-it-light-it-light-it-light. When I'm sad and dark, shallow and in doubt. When I'm trying my best to put one foot in front of the other. You're perfect, you're golden. perfect, you're golden.
Without a warning, without a sound, we woke up one morning to a world turned upside down. Everything changed in the blink of an eye, dealing with the unknown and trying to survive. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over, in our new reality, we will gather together. Will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. We've been through quite a battle, like none we've ever seen. We kept hoping we'd wake up to find out it was all a bad dream. But that day's never come. It'll be a while yet, with more obstacles to overcome and challenges to be met. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over, in our new reality, when we gather together, will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over, in our new reality, when we gather together, will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. And when this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more.
supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday Service. We are a multi-faith community and we believe that there are many paths to one divinity. So what does that mean for you sitting at the house, watching this on YouTube or Facebook? We have 10 different speakers, 10 different faith perspectives, and we couple those with 8 plus hopefully 2 in the future musicians.
The near future.
You're right. Positive artists that also are given the single word topic, which then becomes a series over the 10 weeks. Everybody sends their stuff in to Philip. Becky and I say hello and goodbye, and Philip magically puts it into what you're watching now. Yeah. www.peopleofdiversity.org is how you can join us in your commitment to this, and hopefully this is rippling out to many people in many places and touching lots of folks.
Last week we had our Wiccan representative, Oracle, and his musical guest was Victor Morgado, and he did a great talk on responsibility. It was really good, very educational about the Wiccan faith. Today we have our dear friend Sensei Dave Vidito, and his musical guest is Keith Leon. Next week is our Melchizedek Christian representative, Celidia Junis, and her musical guest is Jennifer Farron. So that'll be good.
That'll be a fun one.
Past services are available on the Facebook group or the Facebook page. You can go there, and the immediately past service will be pinned to the top of the page, and you can see that. If you want to look back in history, they're all there. Just go to the live events section. Also, you can go to our YouTube channel. It's YouTube People of Diversity, and there you can go and actually search on a particular faith or a particular topic. So say you wanted to see all the Muslim talks, you would just search on that and get all those. Or if you wanted to see all the talks on diversity, you could pull that up and get every different faith's take on that. So take advantage of that. It's a really cool resource. Right after the morning service from 11:45 until 12:15, we do our live Zoom deep dive. It's really fun. The link is on the screen below, and it's also in the event. So you just come on and we talk to, if the speaker can be there, we can ask questions and discuss things that we thought about the service. Oracle came and last week, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We talked about some really cool things. And then at 5:45 on Sunday evening, we rebroadcast on Facebook the morning service, and we get on there and you can chat in the chat windows and that sort of thing. You can get Facebook notifications by joining the People of Diversity group or page, and then on Sunday morning you'll get a little ding, and all you got to do is press the button and be there. So each week we bless a country. Each week we bless a country. So if you have any information, pictures, personal stories, whatever, about the country we are blessing next week, send them to the email address below and we'll use them in our country blessing. Next week we are blessing Kuwait. This week we are blessing Kosovo. Kosovo is a small landlocked country in southeastern Europe in the center of the Balkan Peninsula. It is slightly larger than Delaware, so not very big, and has 1.9 million people. 96% of the people are Muslim and 4% are Christian. It has the youngest population of any country in Europe. Get this, 70% of the people are under 35 years old, and the median age is 29 years old.
Wow.
Really young, really young. 99.7% of the people can read and write. That's extremely high. More than 40% of Kosovo is forests and woodlands, and 50% is agricultural. So I believe that leaves about 10% are the cities, and that's it. The rest of it is green. There are lots of limestone caves, and the most famous one is the Marble Cave, which was actually found by a villager in 1966, and it is a popular tourist destination. Lots of it has not even been explored yet.
Wow.
In the capital city of Pristina, there is a statue of Bill Clinton on a street that is also named for him. And there's another street named after George W. Bush. And the people of Kosovo named those streets and built that statue because both of these presidents helped resolve conflicts in Kosovo. And our last fact is Mother Teresa, even though only about 2% of the population is Roman Catholic, there is a beautiful Roman cathedral in Pristina that is named after Saint Teresa, or Mother Teresa. She lived in Kosovo when she was 18 years old, and it was then that she adopted her life of religious devotion. So they have named that cathedral after her. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's hold the people of Kosovo in our hearts, knowing they want the same things in their lives that we want in ours. They want peace. They want tranquility. They want abundance, prosperity. So we hold them in our hearts, and we see them in the light, and we say these words together. May peace prevail in Kosovo. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me. Thank you. Okay.
All right. If I remember correctly, Keith Leon would have recorded these videos while sliding across Texas. Just because I know that.
Oh. Cool.
And Sensei Vidito always puts together an amazing talk. So without further ado, we'll get a couple from Keith, and then we'll learn something from Sensei. See you on the other side.
Hello, beautiful people of diversity. We're talking about responsibility this week. And anytime I hear that word, responsibility, I think of personal responsibility. So one of the things that came to my mind when I thought, what song would I do today with that subject, is a song written by my wife, Mara, called I Am the Light. So I'm going to do that for you. I am the light, I am the love, I am the spirit in me. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer me. I am the answer me. continuing the theme of personal responsibility, it's reminding me of when I first took my first spiritual course, my first spiritual class. And I sat down in meditation and with the question, where is God? Where's this God everybody's talking about? And I breathed into that question, and this is what came forth. Let's see. There was a time in my life when I had, blurred vision. I wasn't finding peace anywhere, and I certainly wasn't finding truth in religion. So one day I decided that I would sit in the silence in my room, and I vowed that I would stay there until something in me moved. I heard a voice. It was a still small voice, and this is what it said. God is here. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. God is here. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. That's right. Now I see God everywhere, a little more each day. I see God in the flowers and in the bills that I choose to pay. I'm feeling God in my breath, spoken with each word. I'm feeling God breathing His life in me. Let God's love be unfurled. Sing it with me now. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. God is here. That's right. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. Well, there once was a wise man. This is what he said. Check it out. He said that God is good all of the time, and that it's stuck in my head. So I said it as my mantra each and every day. I said it until I believed it. Now that's my life each and every day. I finally achieved it. Sing it with me now. God is here in this very room. God is here as you know. No matter where I am, God is here. That's right. God is here as you. God is here, closer than your breath. No matter where I am, God is here. Let's bring it home. God is here. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here.
Hello, this is Dave Vitito with Open Mind Zen, here with you again today. So the topic today is responsibility. And when I was reflecting on this particular topic, responsibility, didn't feel like a kind of a topic that I would do a Dharma talk on, a particular Zen talk. So I think today I'll be speaking more from my own perspective. Of course, that's heavily influenced by Zen, having been doing that for a number of years, and my own personal background. Because responsibility is a complex topic. The more I've looked at it, right? What I typically do is I'll sit on the cushion and sit meditation, right, and see what comes up. And the more I look at this idea of responsibility, the more complicated it gets. And the first thing that comes up for me when I look at that word, and I'm curious to see, or be curious to hear if any of you have a similar reaction, is when I hear the word or think the word responsibility, it has this kind of weightiness to it, a heaviness to it. Responsibility. Um, and and I think we've all run across that one time or another. I think we can all think of a caregiver, perhaps, that has told us at some point in our life, why can't you be more responsible? So we've all heard that. Or perhaps we've all been working with this in our own lives. But it kind of comes down to two things. And again, I'm looking at it more from that interpersonal, that internal perspective, right? That's that Zen perspective I was talking about. Responsibility, it's either you have too much of it and becomes a burden, a yoke around the neck, so to speak, or perhaps it's something you struggle with, either something you've been told you need to be more responsible, or something that you feel that you struggle with being more responsible. And so I want to take a look at both of those because I think everybody's different. I'd be very surprised to hear that anybody gets it just right. I think perhaps some of us maybe are closer to the middle there, might swing one way and then the other, depending on the week or the year. But I think being responsible person is like dancing on the head of a pin. You can try, but it sounds like something maybe somebody could do, but not most people. So responsibility. I'll start with the too much, and this is because that's closer to ringing true for me in my experience. So I think the seeds of this were born very early within my life. Right, firstborn child. Of a family where my father was a business owner, a real go-getter, grandfather worked hard every day of his life. So there's this kind of this sense, right, a very Midwestern upbringing that you need to make it, right? You need to be responsible. And had a brother and a sister. And of course, being the eldest sibling, that brings another sense of responsibility, that sense that I need to care in one way or another for others. My youngest brother was always getting in fights. It was, of course, my responsibility to defend him. Just a random memory that popped up. So in a lot of ways, that early conditioning, if you will be responsible. You're expected to be responsible. That for me was the seeds of dukkha, right? Dukkha, dissatisfaction, suffering, different ways of translating that, dukkha. So the seeds were planted there. Because if you're not being responsible, well, then what? In my case, that brought up feelings of, all right, I'm failing, right? Those were terrible feelings. And so what that wound up being in my life is a bit of a yoke around the neck, right? That yoke that was always pulling me toward responsibility. So of course I went to the hardest school I could find. I got the most challenging job I could find. Had kids at an early age while I was still in school. Responsibility, kids. Nothing gives you a sense of responsibility more than having young children. Um, Actually, even older children, it just changes a bit. So for me, it was really a challenge. I later learned that much of the stress and the anxiety um, and the drive to work more than was healthy, it came from a lot of things, but one of them was that sense of responsibility. So I was definitely born right into that role of having it pushed upon me. Maybe not pushed, but it was present, ever present expectation. And so it's been an interesting part of my practice is how do I work with those expectations? Do I accept those expectations? Can I transform or transmute those expectations into something that is positive for me? Can I say no? I found that if you are on the side of the scale with where you're too responsible, you have a tendency not to say no. Again, that's that yoke pulling you forward, pulling you by the neck. Um, so all the more reason why having some sort of practice is important. And I found it's taken a while for me to get to this point that I was able to shift this notion of what is responsibility, right? I think early in my life it was a negative connotation. Now I think it's a little more balanced in the sense that responsibility, if taken on as an obligation, basically enslaves you to the ideas and expectations of others, or sometimes enslaves you to your own expectations, which of course are not independent of the people you grew up with, the environment you're in. It's all tied together, right? So responsibility viewed as an obligation is problematic. Um, but lately, I tend to see it a little differently. I tend to think of responsibility as an extension of dana. And dana is a Sanskrit word that um, roughly giving, right? But wholehearted giving, giving without need for reward, giving without any sense of self, just giving. And that's the bodhisattva path that you'll hear me talking about, where right, achieving some sense of enlightenment, but instead of going off to nirvana, right, we're here in this world, here now today, working with others to alleviate suffering in others. So that bodhisattva path. And so for me at least, I shift that idea, that notion of responsibility from an obligation, even that's a nasty word, obligation, over toward dana, giving, right? So as I see myself as giving myself or giving of my talents or my time to others, I'm giving dana. I'm being responsible in that way. I found that it's much easier to work with. Of course, it's easy to spend all our time looking outward, being responsible for other people. I think it's as important, or perhaps even more important, is to turn that back on oneself, right? How can I be responsible for my own health and well-being? How can I be responsible for myself? Caveat this, right? Everyone struggles in different ways with this one, but what does that mean for you? Giving yourself time, finding ways to rest, exercise, diet, all that good stuff. Spending times with loved ones, spiritual well-being, spiritual well-being, mental health, recharging, friends, family, all of that. What does it mean to be responsible to oneself, caring for oneself? In a sense, being a bodhisattva for oneself. How do I use what I have, my skills, and free myself? Sometimes that means saying no to things in life. The analogy I like is, what do they tell you on the airline, right? If the oxygen masks come down, put it on yourself first before putting on a child, because the last thing you need to do is put it on the child and pass out yourself. Then you're not able to help anybody. So we have to care for ourselves. We have to be responsible for ourselves before we can really look outward. And I think that was one of the things that was missing in my childhood, right? Where I had that expectation of responsibility. There wasn't this expectation that I would care, right, for this young boy that was growing up, or that I would, I don't know, somehow turn that into a positive direction. So this has helped me kind of tie this notion of responsibility back to the Zen practice, right? This notion of I'm doing this as a form of dana for others, or I'm turning it back in on myself and caring for myself. Responsibility. Treat it like a fine painter's brush. We're able to use it and carve out some of the finer details of life, right? Responsibility is not this broad brush, right? Where I'm going to paint the side of a house. Use responsibility, right? Fill in those little details. Selective. If you treat everything in life as an obligation, everything in life as a responsibility, I think joy is hard to find there. So there are times when we have to learn to let go, especially those perfectionists out there, me being one. When do we let go of having it right, being correct, being responsible? Can we learn to just let things be and then bring out that brush of responsibility, of dedication, right? Whatever that is. Find that balance. Now, that was more my background, right? But I don't want to shortchange the other side, right? Struggling. Many of us struggle with this idea of being responsible, of responsibility. And I think it's pure luck. I don't know about luck, pure chance that I fell one way, right? I fell toward having too much responsibility in that world that I lived in that had that expectation of you will be responsible. I could have just as easily fallen the other way and struggled, right? Rebelled against that and developed a struggle with that in my life. And that can lead to a whole host of challenges in one's life, right? Again, think back to being responsible for oneself first. If that's a struggle, right, it can be difficult to do the things you need for your body to be healthy, for your mind to be healthy, to be spiritually healthy. That can be a challenge. And as when I was sitting through this, I just kept hearing in my head, why don't you grow up? Why don't you grow up? I mean, how many of us have heard that? Somebody tell us that in our life. And they usually tell it to us when we're young, and it sticks. I mean, it's in there. And may not be in the forefront of our mind, but there's a lot of things that get internalized, right? It sticks. Why don't you grow up? So if this is your challenge, I'll say a couple things. One, for some people, it's just a matter of building skills. And so there are lots of opportunities out there to learn those skills, right? And learn how to get organized or get um, be responsible. I would pick something small, something concrete. What is that thing that you want to put that attention toward, right? That's important for you that you can focus your responsibility on. Uh, Choose something concrete, not something vague or abstract. Choose something concrete. Um, but I do want to say though that sometimes that's not enough. And I say this because I've had some recent experience with a family member with ADHD. And I've come to learn that I have some mild symptoms myself. And I've learned that when you have something like this, that being responsible and all the things that entails can be a real challenge. And so if you find yourself struggling and nothing you do is able to help you care for yourself, do the things that you need to do for yourself, um, spiritually, health wise. If you're really struggling, then I recommend looking at counseling. I've done it. Um, think of it as learning skills. And you never know, you may discover, like this family member discovered ADHD as an adult. Um, did great as a kid because they were very intelligent, made it through just fine, but off to college, and all of a sudden things changed, and so doing particular things is difficult because of ADHD. And there are other things that can affect our ability to really be responsible for ourselves, let alone responsible for others. Um, so don't be afraid to ask for help, I guess is what I'm really getting at. And I will say that I have noticed this in myself, not so much on the responsibility side, but on this procrastination side. That's where it tends to rear its head for me. Even if I know how to do something, even if I've done things 100 times before, I still have this little, I don't know, that prevents me from starting sometimes. So those symptoms can be real. They can be there. They can affect you. And so learning about things like this is another thing I recommend. Careful with the self-diagnosis, but use it in the sense of self-exploration, right? What is this? And so for those that are struggling with responsibility, I guess, right, be willing to reach out, but also be willing to let go of this idea that you need to grow up. You need to do this. Find your path. What does it mean for you? So ultimately, you are the person that needs to decide what makes sense for you, what's healthy for you. It's good to have teachers or advisors or mentors, but at the end of the day, you need to decide. And I don't know. It's an interesting topic, having explored it a bit. Um, so too much, too little, just right. Maybe some of you. So anyway, I'll give that to you to think about, and I'll see you next time. Okay, let's try a short meditation exercise. Um, let's do a type of loving kindness exercise today, just to take that moment for ourselves. So go ahead and sit, chair, cushion, whatever's comfortable for you. If you're sitting on the chair, just kind of notice your feet flat on the floor, your eyes closed, and breathing deeply. Maybe notice as gravity pulls you down into the seat, you just feel the contours of the seat in your body where they touch. And try not to slouch. Try to sit more upright, more alert. And breathing in, out. Breathe in, out. And just continue breathing for a minute and just kind of notice your body, head to toes. What do you feel? What do you sense? Now, perhaps bring your focus to your heart center. Just notice if there's any sensations there right around the heart. Now just imagine a white light right there in the heart center. Kind of dim at first, but slowly growing brighter. And breathing. And brighter. And as this white, warm light grows in intensity, imagine your love, your caring, your kindness extending away from you out into the world. And every time you breathe, that light gets a little brighter. Feel that love, that caring, that kindness extending even further. Just keep breathing, keep extending. And after a while, you realize all of the people around you who are also doing this exercise. Their love, their kindness, their caring is reaching out to you, is encompassing you. So just take a few moments to sit like this. Feel that heart center. Feel it extending out, offering all of this to everyone around you. And feel that coming back to you. Just sit, just like this. Just so. Now breathe in deeply. Out. Open your eyes when you're ready. Breathe some more. And out. So that was quick, but you can do an exercise like that. Try it for 15 minutes. Just sit in that sea of loving kindness, extending it, receiving it. Spend time there and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. You always do such an amazing job. It's always so personal and wonderful, and I miss you. You guys need to get back here and come see us. Sensei Dave, I know this was you always do a great job, and we really appreciate you so much. And I know you had some stuff going on this week, and you still managed to pull it off and get it done, and it was awesome. So thank you so much for going that extra mile for us. Philip and team, thank you. You all pull it off again. Take our crazy and make it look good, and we really appreciate that. And I know for a fact that you all are really busy this week as well with things going on. However, if you are out there in the world and you need things done in this sort of stuff, virtual or in person, contact Philip and he will help you out.
Yeah.
So, following the service, 11:45 to 12:15, we will do our live Zoom deep dive. Very often, Sensei Dave can join us for that. I'm not making any promises, right. but he usually does join us. So, but the link is in the on the Facebook group page, or probably listed below. We will rebroadcast this service on Facebook Live at 5:45 this evening. And just a reminder, next week is our dear friend Reverend Celidia Junis, and her musical guest is Jennifer Farron.
Yay, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, if you'll take a nice deep breath, plant your feet on the ground. Spirit, thank you for all that comes into the pod and all that goes out. Thank you for blessing the speakers and the musicians and us in such amazing ways. And please let this message go out to all who need to hear it on any given week. And together we say amen.
Amen.
You can join us in our dance at www.peopleofdiversity.org and push the donate button in the middle of the page and act as you're moved. The most important piece of the service is right now. If you'll take just a moment and bring to your mind's eye anyone in your world that needs support, love, healing, and let's also put in there the folks that are, running the planet and doing all that silly stuff. And let's put some love and support out to the highest and best good that we can create as a people. And listen to this last song and come together in community and open up and feel it yourself. And we wish you an amazing day and a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power